New tonight, adultery is now legal in New York State.
Wait, could you repeat that one more time?
Adultery is now legal in New York State.
Tell me, he didn't just say that.
Oh, great Odin's raven.
I wasn't certain that I got it the first time. So please repeat that again.
Adultery is now legal in New York State.
Does that mean we can cheat on our spouse here in New York City? Is that what you want to put out there? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, New York has legalized adultery. Take it for what it is to how this is. Yes, we did have a law for 117 years that adultery was illegal in New York City. You could thank Kathy Hochul, Governor Kathy Hochul, for removing this law. There's a lot other things that are more important than removing adultery. Because you got to remember, this has some ramifications, and I'm going to tell you straight out, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a divorce attorney, but it's already rough as it is with divorce here in New York, because we have what we call no-fault divorce in New York City and New York State itself. Now, most lawyers will tell you adultery doesn't really affect the outcome of a lot of these divorce suits, but the reason is that a lot of them you can't prove. And now you have this law eliminated that might have produced some of that. And yes, we have used it in the last, 10 years? 10 years ago was the last time this was used. This law was used, and basically they pled out. But we're going to read into this. We're going to read this from the New York Post. You can now freely cheat on your spouse in New York without the fear of prosecution after 117 years. It is a good day to be Don Juan. Adultery, a crime of the heart, is no longer a crime in the state of New York. Governor Kathy Hochul has signed a bill Friday repealing a more than century-old law classifying cheating as a Class B misdemeanor and landed debauchers behind bars for 90 days. While I've been fortunate to share a loving marriage life with my husband for 40 years, making it somewhat ironic for me to sign a bill decriminalizing adultery, I know that people often have a complex relationships, the governor said in a statement. Really, everybody has their problems. These matters should clearly be handled by these individuals and not by a criminal justice system. Let's take this silly, outdated statute off the books once and for all. It's not silly. Actually, could have benefited certain divorces, I believe. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer, but if you look to the situation on how many marriages, including Hollywood marriages, political marriages, have broken up because of adultery. Hochul is New York's first happy married governor in roughly 2 decades. The marriage of each of her 3 immediate predecessors, David Paterson, Elliot Spitzer, and Andrew Cuomo, will all play with extramarital affair scandal and ended in divorce. Yeah, that's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. None, however, was sent to prison for their alleged cheating, Even Spitzer, who famously stepped out on his wife to indulge in a sex ring. A repeal of the law written in 1907 has been in the works for several months after receiving an overwhelming support from the state assembly and Senate chambers. It didn't ask the New Yorkers, actually, because most New Yorkers didn't even know it existed. Bill's sponsor, Long Island expatriate Charles Levine, argued that the 117-year-old law was primarily used to curb the state's divorce rate, especially at the hands of the wife, at a time when claiming adultery was the only path to legally split up. But that law has changed because they have the no-fault divorce. Only 5 people have been convicted of the offense since the 1970s, including in 2010 when a married woman was caught having sex with her paramour on a playground. Yeah, even women get caught on this, okay? Women have gotten caught on this. Under the now defunct law, cheaters could be sentenced up to 90 days in prison and faces a $500 fine. I think it was higher. Someone said it was $1,000. I don't know why. Only 16 states still consider adultery a crime, including Alabama, Florida, and North Carolina. You notice something. How these politicians are trying to make certain sexual laws legal. Adultery, cheese pizza, the Diddy situation, prostitution, that basically illegal, they were trying to make legal prostitution okay, that they just literally don't follow the law on that. And that basically, they just basically don't arrest the prostitutes. Now, understand, I'm all for legalizing sex work. Understand that. If it can be properly done. But the first thing to the situation is that you need to get rid of the criminal element to the situation. It is possible, but it takes proper legislation and proper police enforcement. But the other half of this situation, and we're going to take this from the point of relationships. This law was meant to keep couples together. Yes, work out your differences. But, I understand that, there are those that out there that basically their marriages, their relationships don't work out too well. I understand that. But see, that comes from rushing into marriage a lot of the times. If you look into it, you see people that they've been unhappy in their marriages because basically they either married too young or they just basically, they just took it to the run where they say, let's just get married. Not taking the moment to, feel it out. See, myself, I'm married now 10 plus years. I took about 10 years with my wife before we got married. Yes, that's right. I was with my girlfriend, which became my wife, for 10 years.
Well, if you're happy, then I'm happy, because after all... What?
And we knew when, that we were together, we didn't falter, we didn't, we spent the time to understand each other. Yeah, we had our differences, of course. Every relationship has their differences. But the other night we were talking about that. When was the last time we had a real bad argument or a fight or something like that? And we looked at ourselves and we said, we never really had a bad fight. We've had arguments, we've had discussions where we disagreed, but we came to a mutual agreement, which that's the way it's supposed to be. And I'm not talking about being religious or anything to that nature. We sat back, looked looked at each other and we said, what was right and what was wrong to the argument? See, the thing about it is, a lot of people, and they'll try to blame the porn industry for this. They'll try to blame other things to the situation, but there are people who just jump into bed to the nature, to the point where they've not taken responsibility for their lives, not thinking ahead, and that's including family, pregnancy, abortion, all this stuff that you hear that people saying, like, oh, it's for the good of my body, my choice. You hear all this situation, but what about my body, my responsibility? That's very important between two people, not one, two people. It's always two to tango. Even if you're artificially inseminated to the situation, it's still two to tango. You just, there is a second person involved. When you love somebody, you cherish someone, you want to make sure that it's right. And if it isn't right, okay, that's fine. That's what divorce is for. That's why, breaking up, they always say breaking up is a hard thing to do. Of course it is. Of course. But there's occasions where people just don't know how to do it, or don't even give a shit about their relationship and still will cheat in a marriage. And this, don't blame only the men, because there are plenty of women out there that cheat on the males. There was a website, and that got hacked and embarrassed a lot of people. Ashley Madison. It was an actual cheating site. Okay? It literally, they say if you wanted to cheat on your spouse, you're looking for someone on there, come to us. We will set you up. This was the dating app for cheaters. I mean, it asked you, are you looking for a short term, long term, something to basically become permanent? If you're getting out of a marriage, you're cheating to get out of a marriage to the situation. But like I said, there's a lot of things in the city of New York and in the state that's more important than to get rid of a 117-year-old adultery law. Because what's going to be on people's mind when they hear this? They said, oh, I could cheat now. Honey, I could cheat now. There's going to be a lot of people with frying pans up, that are being used as baseball bats these days, from here on. And vice versa. There's going to be, by doing this, by saying this out, you're okaying cheating. Saying, well, we had to get rid of it. It's an archaic law. But it was a law against cheating. Think about that for a moment. Sit back. I know the comment lines are going to be crazy on this, but sit back a moment. Think about it for a minute. Even those you out there that are single, that are dated in the dating pool and situation. Sit back and think. The governor of New York has told me that to disrespect my boyfriend, girlfriend, opposite spouse, same-sex lover, however you want to put it, that it's okay to disrespect them. Think about that for a minute. I'll say it again. Kathy Hochul, governor of New York, has said it's okay to disrespect someone who I'm dating, married to, to that situation. And we're not putting church involved in this. There's nothing to do, even though they say, oh, it's because of the church that they had this law. No, think about it. She said it's okay for you to go out and cheat on your lover. Yeah, I said it, and that's how I'm going to end with it. Like, subscribe, share, comment, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one as you sit and think about this and take that moment and say, he has something there. Until next time, thank you for tuning in, and bye-bye now.